Hello everyone, I watched the movie Warcraft and this is going to be my review and thoughts about the movie. First off, for the notable cast members that I recognize, there's Travis Fimmel as Lothar, Dominic Cooper as Llane, Ruth Negga as the Queen, I don't know what her name was, Ben Foster as Medivh, Daniel Wu as Guldan, as the voice as Guldan, and Clancy Brown as the voice of Blackhand. I actually thought that was Ron Perlman voicing Orgrim Doomhammer, but turns out it's actually Robert Kazinsky, and I have no idea who that is. I thought the movie was really good. It's definitely my favorite movie of 2016. I even like it better than the comic book movies. I'm talking about Captain America, Civil War, and X-Men Apocalypse, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Yeah. So I liked the Warcraft movie much better than all of those movies. I've been looking forward to the Warcraft movie for quite some time now, and I've always been a big fan of the Warcraft games. I played Warcraft 1, 2, 3, also the expansion packs obviously. I played World of Warcraft for like 3 months and then I got bored of it. So I don't really know much about the World of Warcraft story, but I did read some of the Wikipedia articles. So anyway, first off, I noticed some of the things in this movie clearly did not show up in the first Warcraft 1 game. The movie is supposed to be based on the Warcraft 1 storyline, where the orcs invade the Azeroth, but in the first game it's just orcs and humans. And there's some ogres and demons, and some water elementals, fire elementals, some giant spiders, and some bandits. There are no dwarves, there are no elves, there are no Draenei, yeah. No golems either, just the elementals. Now the style of the characters very much remind me of the World of Warcraft design. Honestly, when I first saw the trailers, I thought it was going to be weird because the orcs were all CGI while the people were live action. I thought it was going to be like another, like The Hobbit, where the CGI orcs didn't really blend out well with the human live action elves and the live action humans and dwarves and hobbits, whatnot. I thought the orcs were going to look kind of weird because they really stood out in the Hobbit movies and I didn't like how they looked. I thought they did a pretty good job for this. The orcs look pretty well. They blend in fine with the humans, but the only thing is not just the orcs. The orcs and the dwarves were really huge in this movie. I don't know what was the deal with that. The elves and the humans looked as you would expect, and then the dwarves, they're short, but their heads were like giant melons. I don't know what was the deal with that. And the orcs were huge. Like, I'm pretty sure when he showed Durotan's fist, his fist was bigger than his head. His fist was like this big. And his arms were like the size of boulders. So I found that to be a really bit odd, but overall the CGI was great. And the visuals of the Azeroth and all the cities and all the orc watchtowers, I thought it was great. About the casting, Dominic Cooper and Ruth Negga both of them has been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Cooper is Howard Stark, Iron Man's dad, and Ruth Negga was Reyna. She was part of Hydra and then Inhumans. And now they're both in this movie. And also they're both in the new AMC show Preacher. And guess who else has been cast in the AMC series? Daniel Wu. So there's 3 AMC alumni in this movie. So that was pretty interesting. Is it a coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Travis Fimmel is notable for playing Ragnar Lothbrok in the show Vikings. I think it's really good. You guys should watch it. I noticed that they try to put some diversity in this movie. A handful of the humans were not white. There's also, I think, an Asian looking elf And there's the War Council. I think there's an Asian guy there. And there's I want to say he was black. He was in most of the movie. I don't know what his name was in the movie, but he was in a lot of the human scenes. I think he was like one of the top generals of King Llane, below Lothar, of course. I also noticed there were quite a few female warriors, especially among the orc side. I think I saw one or two human female warriors, but there's probably like five or six of the orcs were females. So overall, I thought the movie was great. It's definitely my favorite film of 2016. And I read some of the critics' reviews and they said it's pretty bad and it's really poor video game adaptation. But I thought they did fine on this movie. And I definitely recommend you watching it if you haven't already. And here's the part where I talk about the scenes that I liked. And so here comes the spoilers! Spoilers alert! The very first scene, it's a human footman and an orc grunt facing off. It's very much like the intro in Warcraft 3. Too bad they didn't have a demon coming in at the end, Infernal, just like the cutscene. But it was pretty good. It had that Warcraft 3 vibe to it. Now the movie starts off in Trainer, and Guldan is dragging his slave around Garona, and there's some Draenei females there. I wasn't sure if there's any Draenei males. There were probably Draenei males and females, but the most noticeable one was the female one, where she's begging the orcs to spare her children. And Garona was able to translate the Draenei into orc. So does that mean she's half Draenei? Because the orcs call her a half-breed throughout the movie, so she's half orc and half something else. I remember in the Warcraft games, she was like half human, half orc, or at least it was implied to be that way. But then later on, like this is way later on, way after Warcraft 1 to 3, like somewhere, one of the World of Warcraft expansions or something, where they revealed that she's actually half orc, half Draenei. So is this supposed to be a nod towards that? Because she can translate orc and Draenei, so maybe she's a half Draenei, half orc in this movie universe. And also Garona is very pretty. Yeah, I just had to say it. Durotan is clearly the main character of this movie. I don't really remember much about him from Warcraft 1 to 3, besides he was Thrall's dad. I thought the scene where he's talking to his pregnant wife was pretty touching. And I never thought for a second that, like, oh, these are just CGI puppets or whatever. It was pretty realistic to me. It had a nice emotional scene. And then when they finally made it through the portal, Guldan shows off his fell magic where he's like absorbing the energy from the door, from the deer, and sucks it into, expels it, spits it out into Thrall's face, and that's when he goes from blue to green. I guess he was blue because he's supposed to be like stillborn or something. Because all the orcs were brown, and then when they got the fell energy, they turned green. So I'm guessing Thrall was blue because it was supposed to represent he was dying. He was stillborn, but he was clearly breathing and moving around, so I wasn't too sure why he was blue. I'm guessing it was because he was supposed to be like stillborn or about to die, and that's why Guldan put some fell energy into them. And then cut to the next scene where Lothar is looking at the new weapons that the Dwarves have been forging. They got the boomstick, which was like a pistol, gunpowder pistol, and yeah, this is one of the things that didn't show up in the later games. I think Warcraft 3 was when they first had riflemen, Dwarven riflemen, so yeah. No big deal. It was pretty cool actually. Obviously they weren't going to just make a straight up adaptation of Warcraft 1 and just ignore the elves and the dwarves and all the cool gadgets and stuff. Lothar shows up at the barracks and he finds the mage Khadgar and he calls him a spell chucker. I guess that's a racial slur for magic users. So Khadgar is also one of the main characters. There's a lot of main characters in this movie. I mean, I don't know if they're main characters in the sense of like top bill casting, but some of these characters, they have like really important roles. They like show up in a lot of the scenes. So for Khadgar, I honestly don't remember him from the Warcraft 1 to 3. And I think I saw Hellscream. There's one of the orcs. He had like a giant shoulder pad and a ponytail and a big axe. That looked a lot like Hellscream. I didn't recall anyone calling him by that name, so I'm not sure. And the guy with the giant hammer, that was Orgrim Doomhammer. They only mentions the name near the end of the movie, and I suspected it was him because he had a giant hammer, but otherwise it could have been any orc. And I think I said this before, but I seriously thought that was Ron Perlman voicing Orgrim Doomhammer, but it turns out it's not. Anyway, back to Lothar. He has a son. I don't remember if they mentioned him having a son in the Warcraft 1 to 2 games, but it doesn't matter because he died. Speaking of which, this is later in the movie, but when he died, Lothar didn't seem to have much of an emotional reaction to it. At first he's screaming at Medivh, break down the magical barrier, and then he's just staring. He looks at his son, nods. Yeah, you're gonna die, son. It's okay, son. Die in peace. And he's just staring at Blackhand, like, I'm watching you. I'm gonna get you. But he didn't seem that emotionally devastated, and in that moment, at least. I mean, he's crying and moping like half an hour later, or in the next scene with him. But at that point, he's just not. He doesn't seem that devastated about it, his son dying. He was pretty emotional before it happened and after it happened, but not when it happened. Kind of found that weird. Now to backtrack, so the first battle between the orcs and the humans, the orcs pretty much had the humans beat. But Medivh saved the day, sucked the fell energy out of them, and killed them. I don't remember that happening in the games, but I guess they needed a way to kill the super huge, buff, muscular orcs anyway. Also found it pretty funny when Lothar's horse did like a back kick. Yeah, he back kicked one of the orcs, so that was pretty cool. And then they captured Garona and some random orc. But Garona spoke English, and so at first I thought, oh, she must be half Draenei because she can speak Draenei, but now she can speak English. So is she half Draenei or half human? Well, I guess maybe we'll find out in the next movie. But actually, I don't remember her surviving Warcraft 1. So I guess that's just one of the many different. Well, I don't know if there's many. Yeah, one of the many differences between the movie universe and the game universe. So I'm pretty sure she did not live past Warcraft 1, if I remember correctly. But she looks like she's going to be a main character in the second movie. They better make a second movie. And here's another difference from the video game and the movie. Blackhand had to sacrifice himself because he failed in the first battle. Seriously? You lose one battle and then you have to kill yourself? That doesn't make any sense. But Durotan saved him and chopped off the death rot on his arm. He was gonna like slowly disintegrate Blackhand or something. So there are elves at the Council of Council of Azeroth. So there's elves, dwarves, and humans, and even some wizards. Very Lord of the Rings-esque. There weren't any hobbits. I guess there would be gnomes in Warcraft's case. They don't have hobbits, they have gnomes. But it was pretty cool because they're like all arguing like, we should do this, no, we should do that. So that scene had a very strong Council of Elrond vibe to it. Very Lord of the Rings. And the elves have these really long eyebrows, like in the World of Warcraft games. I can't remember the artwork for Warcraft 2 and 3 if the elves had like really long eyebrows. I don't remember that happening. I think that was added in World of Warcraft. The scene where Medivh is burning all of Khadgar's research was pretty funny. What a jerk. But if you play the games before watching this movie, then you'd know that Medivh is actually the one who betrays the humans and invites the orcs into the universe. So yeah, this was supposed to be a foreshadowing. He's hiding his guilt. He's destroying all the research. Well, if you couldn't realize that, the Khadgar brings up to Lothar like a few minutes later, and Lothar suspects, but he tells Khadgar, "Don't worry about it. It's for your own good." But after Khadgar leaves, he has this furrow in his eye, like he knows Medivh is up to no good. Durotan tries to negotiate with King Llane and the humans to try to save themselves and defeat Guldan, and then it turns out Orgrim Doomhammer betrayed his best friend Durotan. Pretty messed up, dude. Ironically, later on, Orgrim Doomhammer is betrayed by Guldan and all the Frost Wolves killed. And this is the battle where Lothar's son died, which I mentioned earlier. I really like that orc that had that boar mask thing, like he's just ramming into stuff. It was pretty cool. That's a pretty nice improv siege engine. And I thought King Llane with his lion helmet thing, lion armor, that was pretty cool. I really like those animal themed armor suits. Like the really old cartoon Knights of the Round, I don't know. It was some football players, they turned into Knights of the Round Table from King Arthur, and they have like animal armor or something. Yeah, and also the anime Saint Seiya and Ronin Warriors, they had animal armor too. Pretty cool stuff. And also Berserk. Gotta mention Berserk. Yeah, they had some animal armor, animal knights in it too. And also they're gonna make the new anime, so check that out when it comes out. So Orgrim Doomhammer goes back to his camp to find all the Frost Wolves being slaughtered. Nice reward for betraying your chieftain Durotan. Get the rest of your clan killed. But he manages to save Draka, Durotan's wife, and the son. For some reason, the orcs let Orgrim Doomhammer live the entire movie, despite killing all the other Frost Wolves. And then Orgrim Doomhammer challenges Guldan, and they still didn't kill him. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Well, they couldn't kill him because he's supposed to be the next leader of the Horde, which they didn't do in this movie. It seemed more like Garona is more important than Orgrim Doomhammer at the end of the movie. So another change to the storyline. Kirin Tor is revealed to be this magical floating city, which is fine. It was definitely pretty cool looking. I don't remember that happening in the games. I think it was just regular city with some floating stuff, but in the movie the whole city is floating, which was pretty cool. But I'm sure some people would not like that. One scene, Garona is wearing a skirt or dress, whatever. She's looking really fine in that. And I remember in one of the manuals she was wearing like a dress. So I don't know if it's supposed to be the exact same dress, but that's a nice nod to the Warcraft manual lore. I thought it was a nice touch. And Lothar was in prison for being too emotional about his son's death, finally. And when he tries to break out of the prison cell, it's pretty funny. He's pleading with the guard. He's calmed down. He can go out and help the king now. And the guard says, nope, he's not having any of that. And then Lothar immediately throws a fit and starts yelling at him. And then Khadgar comes in with a polymorph. And he said it lasts about 60 seconds. Just like the video game. I think in Warcraft 2 polymorph was permanent. In Warcraft 3 it lasted 60 seconds. And then Draka is shown running for her life, but she's about to get killed, so she sees there's a river, and she puts her son Thrall, into the river and pushes him off and sends him off so he can grow up and come back and free his people from slavery. Yeah, so a lot of a strong Moses vibe there. I'm guessing that was intentional. If you play the games, you know, Thrall grows up. Oh yeah, so I guess this will be spoilers for future movies, but Thrall grows up and comes back and rescues his people from slavery. Both slavery from the humans and then slavery from the demon fell energy blood. So he's just like Moses, especially in this movie where his mom puts him in a basket and rolls him down a river. Exactly like Moses. Now Durotan is freed by Orgrim Doomhammer, and he challenges Guldan to I forgot what the ritual, the tournament fight to the death thing was. Guldan accepted, and wow, for aging warlock, trying to say that as PC as possible. And he had quite a lot of fight in him. I guess that was due to the fell energy. But you'd expect for an elderly warlock, he wouldn't be as good a fighter as a young buff chieftain who fought all his whole life. But he ended up using magic and cheating and sucked the life energy out of Durotan. And that's when Orgrim Doomhammer's like, look at this guy. He's a cheater. He's a cheat. He breaks our ancient orc traditions. Do you want to follow him? And then some orcs decides to leave. And then Guldan sucks their energy out. And he said, I won't take this shit from anyone. I'm going to kill you all if I have to. So now kill me all the humans and gather me some slaves. So we can get the rest of the horde here. And they all just go. And what happened to Orgrim Doomhammer, the center? Nothing. They just let him walk around in the camp or whatever. Surprised Guldan didn't kill him right there. I actually thought at this point he was going to challenge Blackhand or something, or challenge Guldan and kill Blackhand, but he didn't. Now they revealed that Medivh has gone full demon. He got all those demon dreadlocks, pretty similar to the Eredar appearance, I think. And Lothar and Khadgar show up to try to break the incantation, and then Medivh activates the giant golem that he's been working on at the beginning of the movie. I thought the golem was cool. Even cooler was when Medivh goes full-blown demon. He actually looked like Illidan Stormrage. He had some similar appearances to it, but yeah, he has like a lot of demonic looks in the Frozen Throne. Yeah, it looked kind of like that. It was really cool. Really great design. And now the final battle with the humans charging into the orc camp. They see all the Frostwolf bodies, all the corpses, and they're like, oh, so much for the Frostwolves. And charge, free our people. And they were clearly outnumbered, but they charged in anyway. Pretty brave of them. Kind of like in Lord of the Rings, where King Aragon, wait, he wasn't king yet, was he? Well, Aragon leads all the free people to fight the giant, massive orc army at the gate. I really like these large, huge, epic action scenes. I know some people don't like them, but I love them. I absolutely love them. And this one is definitely top notch. I especially like the medieval fantasy kind of action scenes. Lots of swords and bows. Well, this one had those musket pistols. That was fine. It wasn't full-blown guns yet. Automatic guns, machine guns, and sniper rifles and rocket launchers. But that's fine. Gunpowder guns, I can still enjoy. As long as there's still lots of swords and arrows and bows and spears. Wait, I don't think there's that many spears and bows and arrows in this movie. It was mostly swords and axes and pistols. Did anyone use a bow in this movie? How did I come to think of it? I don't recall. I think everyone's just using swords and axes. And there's like one spear or lance. Most of the range was just pistols. We free the slaves, and then Medivh opens the gate, and the humans are fleeing to Stormwind. And pretty funny how the orcs try to circle around the gate and and kill the people fleeing, but it turns out it's a magical barrier. And then pretty much everyone escapes except for King Llane and Garona and some of his top generals. And this is when the black guy finally dies. So I'm surprised he lasted this long. And then King Llane begs Garona to assassinate him. Well, not assassinate him, to kill him, so that she can save her own life and maybe try to negotiate peace between the orcs and humans. I'm not sure how that would work, but at least it will definitely save her life, maybe. Well, it did save her life, but I'm not sure why that would mean peace between the orcs and humans. I guess it was supposed to be, yeah, we killed the human king, so they're defeated now. We defeated forces. We can, just chill and hang back for a while. I guess that was his idea. In the game, King Llane definitely did not ride into battle, and he was assassinated by Garona because of black magic, the fell magic, whatever, from Guldan brainwashed Garona, and she killed King Llane. And then Lothar swoops in with his griffin. Also, the griffin's another thing that doesn't show up until the second game. And just like the eagles in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so I think that's the final Lord of the Rings parallel. And then he comes in and kills a bunch of orcs, and he got Lothar's dead body. And thanks for trying to save anyone else, by the way. Then he's up on his way, and then he got snagged. And then he's on the ground, and he's challenged to the death match by Blackhand. I don't know at what point of him being unconscious is challenged, but whatever. And then Lothar fights Blackhand, and instead of the giant long epic battle, he just swoops in and chops his dick off or something. That was pretty funny. And then he goes in behind and stabs him, probably to the heart. So a nice quick victory for Lothar. So it just goes to show you don't always win when you're this huge, muscular, big guy. That actually also happened in the movie Troy. Achilles fights this huge Broragus and kills him in one hit. Or two. He just jumps up and stabs him twice. And then Guldan says, are you guys crazy? Kill this guy! Kill this guy! And then Garona's like, nope, ancient orc tradition. If you kill him, we won't follow you. Simple as that. And Guldan doesn't care. And all the orcs are like, respect! They all just let him walk away. And at this point, it looks like Garona is going to be important leader of the Horde alongside Guldan. And Orgrim Doomhammer is not. So I guess it's good that they don't make the movie exactly the same as the video games. So we can, they did that with Game of Thrones and Age of Ice and Fire. Yeah, so some things are similar, some things are different. Nothing wrong with that. And also something wrong with that. Some fans gonna hate it, some fans gonna love it, and some fans gonna be neutral about it. At the funeral scene where Lothar raises the sword and the alliance, for the alliance. I think this is when I saw the Asian elf. Yeah. So I think there's one Asian guy in the War Council and one Asian looking elf. And there was that one black guy. And then I think everyone else was white. And there was one or two female human warriors. Yeah. So that was the diversity in the human part. So like I said, this movie was really great. I thought it was mostly faithful to the Warcraft lore, and even if it wasn't, it's not that big of a deal, because even Blizzard sometimes forgets what the lore is like and changes it up, and it's just really nice to see Warcraft in live action film format. I mean, half of it CGI and half of it live action. I wonder why they didn't just have Blizzard, the in-studio, just make a 3-hour long cinematic, because they make really good cinematics. Still, I thought the movie was great. Great casting, great CGI, great characters, and great action. Everything's great. Everything's great about this movie. So If you guys haven't watched the movie, I hopefully convince you to watch it now. For those who have watched the movie, what did you think about the movie? If you play it, if you're a fan of the games, do you think faithful to the game? Did you like the changes they made? And what do you hope for in the second movie? The second movie is definitely going to have the elves and the dwarves. And maybe the Draenei. I was kind of surprised that they had all the Alliance people in there, but they didn't have any of the future Horde people like the goblins and the trolls and the ogres. Even in Warcraft 1 there's ogres. So it was definitely cool that they added the elves and the dwarves, but how come they didn't add any trolls or ogres? Speaking of ogres, in one of the Warcraft 1 or 2 manuals, there's a picture of an ogre like lifting a horse in the air, and he's like taking a chunk out of it. Oh, he's grabbing it. But yeah, when I think it was Blackhand, he's grabbing the horse into the air. I thought he was gonna rip it in half. Honestly, if it was rated R, they probably would have done that. I thought he was gonna rip it in half. That would have been brutal. Instead, he just threw it at the humans. Yeah, there's a long video about this movie, but it's worth it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this movie if you've watched it already. And if you haven't, go watch it. It's a great summer action flick. And it's a great video game adaptation. And just overall great movie. I'm sure some critics will hate it, but I thought it was really good. I love these big action, epic movies. So all this good action war movies. So I thought it was really good. It's definitely my favorite 2016 movie. And possibly my favorite fantasy action war epic film. If I dare say so, maybe even better than Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Hopefully you guys won't be angry at me for saying that. So, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.